Hello,
Hello,
hello.
everyone. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Sisters Circle, featuring
Yes.
the co-hostess with the mostesses, Wyntis and Anna from the DMV. Hello, darling. How are you, Anna?
I'm doing good. Sorry to be sitting in my car. Just always busy, but we got to do what we got to do as mothers.
Nah, girl, tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's Father's Day weekend, so guess what we got off? This weekend,
Yes.
we got the weekend off. Yeah, all the children should spend it with their fathers. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
And, and let me be nice. And the fathers should get the same treatment like the mothers get on Mother's Day. um,
As we drink from our look, as we drink from our cups, you're right. I hope they get the same treatment that we got on
the
Mother's
bad and the ugly. Sorry.
Day. But you know what? No, for real, because there's some great fathers out there.
Yes.
And so, happy Father's Day weekend to all of the great fathers. We didn't say that this morning on the button, but since this is the last show of the night for 18, happy Father's Day for all of the great fathers out there. And to the mothers that's doing double duty, you know what? Happy Father's Day to some of the mothers too, because y'all doing the damn thing out there. So, from Sister Circle to you,
Happy Father's Day.
there you go. It's a lot going on this weekend, Anna. You
It
dressed up
is.
now, sitting in the car. What you coming from now?
My girlfriend's son's graduation. He graduated from high school, and we just left, and I'm sitting here in the parking lot because I was at the restaurant, and I said, I gotta go out. I gotta go out. I'll be right back. So just celebrating, and then later on, that's why I still had I dressed all the way up because you could have wore jeans and been more comfortable.
Uh-huh.
But Sister Elizabeth Taylor from Flint, Michigan, has sent Mickey Jordan a text about an event that's happening in DC,
Okay.
and it's a documentary called Bitter Pill,
Okay.
and it's through the Center of Progress. 1533 H Street is where the location is going to be at. And she sent this text message to him to tell me about it. And so I went on ahead and registered it. And I just want to say online, because she's in Flint, thank you. So I'm going to go see the documentary because the documentary is really deep. It's about fentanyl, it's about drugs, but how it takes over a community. And
Yes.
so even when I was in Flint, by the Save a Lot, I actually was standing next to Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter, and because I'm trained a lot in public health and I know a lot about you know things that are out here that we got to be careful for that we touch or whatever. And it's not to take away from a person who's needy or on drugs, but some of these drugs they got out here can kill you if it gets into your skin. So you
Yes.
see a lot of police officers with gloves, Narcan on them, things that they need. So when I was out there with this Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter, a lady came up and I could look right at her and I pulled back, Councilwoman, because the lady reached out to go touch, and it's not to be offensive, but sometimes we have to be careful with touching people. And there's nothing wrong with giving love, but we do have to be careful because there's these new drugs that are out here that are killing you just off of touching it.
Yes. Yes. And you
Um,
are so right. That's why, you just there's just so much going on in the world. I think, but on a lighter note, when we were standing in that Save a Lot parking lot, and I will never forget this moment when the lady came up and she said, can I have some you got any spirit change? You got any spirit change? And I was like, man, I'm just like you. I need a job too. And she
that
told
probably was the same lady that we talked to.
she said, well, they hiring across the street at McDonald's. I looked at her like, if they hiring, why you ain't over there trying to get a job? Man, we were
Ooh,
only in Flint. only in Flint. But
Now
you know,
that's everywhere.
I know, I know.
That's everywhere.
I
Them
think
drugs is everywhere.
yes, and homelessness is a
Yes,
big issue.
homelessness.
And I never
Well,
DC.
the DC's a savior city. We get it all. From out the country to illegally coming in the country
Hmm.
to someone coming from another state because it's a the law is right to shelter. So
Mm,
we get everybody, and then we get everybody to come in, and everybody gets help except the people that been there,
and that's a
and
shame.
that happens everywhere.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, what else you got? You know what? You had your baby graduated from eighth grade this week. I seen the pictures online.
Yes, she finished eighth grade. She'll be going to McKinley Tech High School, which is an applicational high school. You
Oh,
know, my baby wants to aspire to be a surgeon.
okay.
So I had to get her into a high school. She would have been to private school, but I had to get her into a high school that really focused on STEM,
Okay.
especially the science and the math part of it.
Hmm.
So she'll be taking biotech at McKinley Tech Middle School. I mean, high school. I'm saying middle school, high school. And from there, when she graduated on Friday, she got the highest science award. She was the highest in the whole school for science. So I was excited for that because science is the main thing, and I need her to have at least 4 to 5 AP sciences to
Okay.
even be considered to get into some of these schools.
Okay. Okay.
So you got to start early. I've been,
Well, baby
well,
girl,
you already know because you got your girls on point. You got your girls on point.
it's tough. It's tough. I got
It's not easy.
it is not an easy job. I thank God. My oldest one, I don't know where she got it from. Like she was one, like I always say, she was one of the kids that I hated. Like when we was in school, like she can open a book, read it, take a test, and get an A, no problem. Baby girl, she's just like me. We can open that book up. We're gonna go to sleep. We gonna read it again. We gonna take the test, and we still ain't gonna pass it. But you know what? We gonna dribble that basketball. We gonna run that track. We gonna do everything, and then we still gonna pull them grades back up. But thank God I was, everything that my children have been through in the past few months, their grades have done nothing but just soared. So I'm very excited that the path that they're on.
It's funny you say that because usually when trauma happens around us, like a loss of a family member or separation of family or
Hmm.
loss of a job or any type of loss,
Hmm.
our children get affected by it. And if they're in a school that is not nurturing or has access to the right support, our children suffer. So some of us have been blessed to put our kids in great schools, but some of us don't have that.
Hmm.
I would say in my daughter's trauma with the death of her friends,
Hmm.
it wasn't until I pulled her out of that school because I didn't feel like it was academically challenging her and they were just giving her the bare minimum. When I moved her out of the environment, that girl skyrocketed,
Hmm.
even her tests. So as parents, we need to make sure that the school we put our children in is the right fit for our child.
Absolutely.
Um, School
Absolutely.
choice is a huge thing. It's not everywhere, but we grew up, we had one stop. You went to
I
your
forgot to
neighborhood
be talking
school.
into the microphone, girl. I was sitting there just talking. Okay, but they can hear me
And I
good.
could hear you good.
Okay.
But I think about that because school choice is huge. And like I said, New Orleans is number one on school choice, and then DC's number two. Uh, but it's a blessing when you're allowed, when your school in your area is not performing, that you're able to go to a Grand Blank, like in Flint, able to go somewhere else. People knock you and say, "Why are you taking your kid out?" The truth is, the numbers have to come into this to Flint for the school to flourish.
Mhm.
But you got to look at the people that are working in the building too, and the people that are control over the building policies and the money that are coming in. That's
Right.
who you need to pay attention to. We
Absolutely.
scream about the parents not doing. At the end of the day, public education is a requirement, so
Mhm.
they need to be on point.
Mhm.
If the parent is not on point, then that's when the community comes in. That's just my
Right.
opinion.
I agree. I agree. Our school board needs a it needs a revamping. It needs a revamping. I mean, it starts to me. It starts there, and if they're not willing to modernize, then our kids suffer.
Hmm.
I mean, just passing out a laptop, that's not really cutting it for me. But
That's that new pandemic thing, because before the pandemic, they was not passing that out. I mean,
no,
unless you was in type of specialized STEM type of school.
right,
That is the new way we're doing things, and so they're pushing the narrative to do this. Um, but when you push this narrative, you better make sure these families have access to things and be able to afford to pay for it.
right, right. But I still predict that within what is it, 2024, by 2030, I don't think Flint will have public education. I don't.
So I know in Chicago, I remember this girl because I'm so involved in education. She was from Chicago. I think Mott's was in Chicago, and they have their schools, and the kids in the neighborhood, some of them will be able to get to some of them schools that were like considered charter schools, owned not owned by local government, owned by a corporation.
Mhm,
Those things scare me. I'm not even going to front with you. Those things scare me,
mhm.
um, because the voice of the parent now is hidden,
Right.
in my opinion. So when you get into those areas where you're like, well, this school's not doesn't have this and doesn't have that, you got to be careful that the one thing that they might have, it might be three to five things they don't have, and your child
Mhm,
misses out on those maths, those sciences. So whatever it is that your child wants to do, make sure that that school has those things. Especially
mhm,
by eighth grade, your child should have algebra.
mhm,
By third grade, your child should be reading on point, unless there's a
mhm,
disability. But if there's a
mhm,
disability, evaluate. There's nothing wrong with having an IEP, a 504, or a learning disability. We need
mhm.
to stop stigmatizing like something's wrong with us and we don't go get help because we don't want the family to know that we're not learning like everyone else.
That's true.
Those are conversations we need to have in black and brown houses.
Mhm. That's
We
very
just
true.
we call our kids stupid. We say they're retarded. Don't ever say retarded. That is
Alright.
a word we do not use anymore.
I agree. I agree. And we need to, like, like you said, just gotta text it. And just like you said, like we need to be there to assist our children. Not all children learn at the same pace. Like you said, don't knock them. Don't call them names, because can you imagine what that does to a child's self-esteem?
Yep.
Even if they're trying their hardest, that's just horrible. That's just absolutely horrible. But if your child needs help, get your child some help. I remember when my daughter came out of I think it was the first grade going into, yep, first grade going into the second grade. She wasn't reading like I thought she should be reading. First grade, she had a little bit too much fun in school. And it wasn't her fault. It was the teacher. And I think the teacher thought by being the cool teacher, that was her thing. But the cool teacher wasn't doing any cool teaching. Okay? And so when my daughter got to the second grade, it's like something's wrong with this picture. She's not reading like she's supposed to be reading. And I was looking for tutors and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, all this money that we paying for this school. And thank
Mm.
God that the teacher, she started an after school reading program, and my daughter just excelled. I mean, she just excelled. She just took off now, getting her to read and getting those accelerated reading points and taking those tests now is a totally different thing. But what I'm saying is, if your child needs help, get your child some help.
Hmm.
Period. I mean,
Period.
period.
And there's services and there's requirement and there's
Mhm.
actually attorneys that you can get for free pro bono to make sure that the school is giving your child and
Mhm.
meeting their needs and meeting the family where they're at.
I was so
This is in
thankful.
your this is what you're taxed for.
Right. But I was so thankful for my school, because the school that she's at, because I was going to pay for her tutor, and the teacher said, "You're paying for your child to go to school." She said, "Nobody knows your child best than I. I am her teacher. I know what she's doing every day, and there's
Hmm.
nobody better equipped to teach her than I am. And I just shouts out to Miss Clark if Miss Clark is watching, and she got my baby back on track, and she's been good ever since then. So, but yeah, we just got that out the way, but yeah, I agree. These
And,
kids.
and and another thing is like, so another thing this week, I just found out that I will be the PTO president of McKinley Tech High School.
Woo!
They, I ran for it. I got selected. I'm at the McKinley Middle side, but this is a whole school that next year I will be on, PTO president because
Oh, girl,
I'm coming in full force, like
I know you
building
are.
building family and building team and making sure that every grade has the same exact graduation. Not
That's
one
good.
lacking because more families put more money at this year, that every child gets it.
Oh,
That's
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 wonderful.
what I'm pushing at. And working with the school because we also got to a point where some of us as families we don't know how to communicate, and not all families,
Hmm.
but we come into these educational spaces and we really don't know our rights, our roles, and our responsibilities as parents in educational spaces. And we come in because we're ignorant, and not ignorant like we're bad, ignorant because we don't know. And we
Hmm.
argue, we scream, we holler. But really, it's because we don't know our rights. And we go there screaming when if we knew what we're supposed to be doing with our child and what they're supposed to be getting, you
Hmm.
wouldn't have to scream. You
Absolutely
wouldn't have
agree.
to scream.
Absolutely agree. Well,
I
congratulations to you.
yeah. So trying to get parents to be on point with staff and staff too, because we can't always blame parents. We got to have staff like the teachers I had when I was growing up. I don't know about you. Teachers to me felt like they more cared than this new generation of teachers. Not all, but a lot of this new generation of teachers, they're underpaid and they're leaving. They're running to Title I schools, being there for 2 to 3 years, and they're running. And our
I
children
mean,
probably get 1 year with them. Private school, that's a whole nother ball game.
well,
You
think about
pay,
it. If you're
they
getting
better get it right.
underpaid, are you going? That's with any job. If you're getting underpaid, are you going to go in and give your best? No.
You should give your best because those
You
kids didn't ask to
should.
be there.
You
You
should.
should. It works in your favor. That means you
But
could
in
be in any environment.
reality,
Yeah.
if I'm a
Well,
teacher, especially in a public school system, and especially in Flint, where we seen it, the video that went viral nationwide, where the teacher got, hit upside the head with the chair. And if I'm just getting paid minimum, I and that's what I'm getting, I
in
can't
those
get that.
cases, I do believe. Uh, sorry. In those cases, I do believe move. But I'm talking about the ones that come in. Uh, they come from different parts, and they come into these urban cities.
Mhm.
Come save the child with the thoughts, I'm gonna save a child. No, you sweetie, you can't save a child. But
Right.
come in, respect the differences in culture, give your best like you gave someone where you grew up at, the same
Mhm.
opportunity. When you go in that class, don't just assume because one rotten apple that everyone's rotten. That's
That's
what I'm
true.
talking about.
That's very true.
Perception of Title I schools, perception of urban schools, perception of black and brown schools. If you're coming from an area where you were predominantly someone else, or in a school that, or in an area where they're performing and they have access, and you're upper middle class, and you go get your degree, and then
Mhm.
thing is, save a child comes through your head, and they tell you you could get your student loans paid if you go into these schools, and that's what we have going on now.
Mhm.
They go into these schools and they leave, and
Mhm.
those kids suffer from that too.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, the first teacher is the parent. The parent
Mhm.
has to be involved, and if the
Absolutely.
that is the key. The parent, the teacher, and the administration, and your school board needs to be on point.
Mhm.
No one needs to be packing the bunk.
Mhm.
We pass the buck too much. That's that person. It's that person. Lead with integrity.
Mhm. And
Lead
you,
lead with it, whether it's
what's
your fault or not. If you're in a leadership role, especially on the board of education or any of them, eventually I will run for that. At the end of the day, you can't say it was the last mayor or the last board member. Lead with integrity. Take it on and
absolutely?
and face it.
I love that. And what's the other group that you with parents?
Oh, so actually, we're gonna have our Parent Power Gala on the 24th.
Okay.
Um, we get every year someone wins. I'm praying that I win.
Okay.
I want to win. Not because I want to win, but it's just I will say that. So, Parents Amplifying Voices for Education. It's just here in DC.
Okay.
All over, they have organizations that do stuff like this, but PAVE is just for DC. It's just a nonprofit that started in DC, and we're fighting for a lot. So for the when we first started in 17, we fought for out of school time, which is a very need for, especially for parents that are working. You get the kid out at 3 o'clock. That kid should not be sitting. And the other thing
Right.
we were fighting for was mental health supports, which is the thing when that child comes into that school, they're already having enough dealing at home, and now they're coming into a school that's not equipped with the right staff to deal with kids that
Hmm.
have or need supports, have mental issues or not or undiagnosed. There's kids out here that are not diagnosed that are just going through the system.
Hmm.
You know, and then what we've been fighting for this year, we fought for specialized programming to make sure that all kids equally and accessibly got access to special education. That is like dual language. That is STEM, STEAM. That is Montessori, possibly other ways of learning, other access, STEM, science. Um, I pretty much said it all. Anything with specialized programming. And then the other thing this year, we're fighting for safety, which in every city, especially in any urban city, the safety of
Hmm.
our kids is high now.
Right.
So,
I mean, our kids can't carry backpacks. They can't carry nothing here. So, I mean, safety, but they
do they
still
check them when they go into school? Do they have like the?
metal detectors.
Mhm.
Yes, they have all of that.
They should let them
They
bring their
have-
stuff. They don't know what they're dealing with when they leave. They don't know if that's their food in their backpack or their clothes. They don't know if they're homeless.
No, you already know we went through this.
Mm,
They took away
yeah,
their hoodies. They took away their backpacks. They took away everything from those kids. And sometimes everybody don't have a coat, but I don't want to travel down that road again. I spend a lot of time
yeah,
on that,
we did.
talking about that. But
Yes, we
so
did.
this weekend we do have let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I thought I was gonna have it already on here. So we do have in Detroit, Michigan, we have the International Silence All Violence Awards March, and well, it's going to be the March and Awards Brunch from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They are going to meet at the Church of the Messiah at 10 a.m. And if you are already a member of the MLK League, the $30 already includes your brunch. So take advantage of that. So, and then you are still welcome to join when you sign up to join and pay for that luncheon. That automatically includes 1 year membership. So, I am excited about this. They need everyone to arrive at 10 a.m. at the Church of the Messiah. The march will start at 11 a.m. and then they will depart at 12 to the St. Regis Hotel, 1 p.m. The brunch will start 2 o'clock, the award ceremony, and at 3 o'clock, they're going to have a global leaders mixer, and then everything will be over. So I'm excited about that this weekend. So
You gonna be
hopefully a lot
dressed
of
up?
it.
You gonna be
Mm,
dressed up?
mm.
No, it's dressed down.
It's got to be dressed down because when they tell me that I got to be at the march, I got to be at the
Oh
church
no,
at 10, the march at 11, and it's going to go to the hotel by 12. And then at 1 o'clock the brunch, and 2 o'clock the award ceremony. Now Wyntis Hall in time. We ain't got time to do no redressing. So I don't know how I'm gonna swing that baby. I just don't know. Maybe it won't be a fancy luncheon. I'm hoping. I'm just saying. I'm hoping it won't be a fancy lunch because whatever I'm marching in, that's what I have to march right up there on stage in.
You're right, because at the end of the day, you're outside of where you live. You're in Detroit.
Right. And I'm not gonna have
And
time
ain't
to
nobody
go.
gonna go get no hotel just to do that.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But I'm excited. It is the first one that they're having, so I'm hoping that it'll get bigger and bigger every year. So,
Mm.
Silence the Violence Detroit, it's gonna be there in Detroit this week, and we're gonna be marching. And so, hopefully, next year you can come to it. Yay! Next year, I want
Yes.
to get you there, and so we can
I
go ahead.
I will be coming. What is that? Sunday the 4th, August 4th. I want to
What's
come
August?
August 4th. August 4th. Well, August 4th is special to me. I'm gonna tell you what August 4th is.
Okay.
Okay. My mother passed away on August 4th. And so
Oh,
on August 4th, I I have to be or doing something to get my mind off of it. It's
okay.
going on 2 years. So I know that the love that I have for my mother is the same love that I have to, how do you say this? The passion that my mother put in me, and the gifts that she gave me, and what she spoke life into me, was to always, when it's time for you to do something, look at it as giving back. And she was a giver.
Mhm.
Her fun time is like doing things for others and helping and just loving on people and meeting people. She was always like that. And so August 4th, instead of me being sad, I will be going to Flint, Michigan, because I love Flint, Michigan. Of course, you already know that.
Right.
And I would get there ahead of time. Of course, I'll talk to you offline more about it.
Mhm.
And pretty much because y'all do have voting on the 6th, and that's historical.
Mhm.
You know, August 6th, 1965 is when they allowed the change of voting act, right? Especially for Black people, were affected by that. We're still affected by it,
Are you
but
coming to help Miss Rose at the polls? Oh. I know what you coming for.
not just Rose. I'm also, if Clack allows me to help him, um,
Okay.
to bring information out there for him. Um, uh, but yes, um, Rose did not say, Anna, can you come help me? None of that. Anna said, what is it that Anna likes to do? And Anna loves to help people, especially people that help people like her.
Well, you know
Um,
we roll as a team, so I'm gonna be out there rolling with you.
yeah, because I'm telling you, that's Sunday, and then you got that Monday, and then it's voting. And we just did voting here June, what was it, June? I can't even remember, June 4th. And I was out there for 12 hours. I done met everybody that was running. Even a
Oh,
person was running for Congress.
I have been
And
out
I
there
and I went to
before.
east of the river where they say people don't vote at. I purposely went and sat out there for 12 hours. And
Mhm.
I had a ball. I met a lot of people. I met a lot of candidates. I saw some pictures. Comedian Rodney Red Grant was running for our at large. He didn't get it. He could try again. But we still got the general election coming up. Was some of the people from the Democrat side was selected, but we got Republicans running, so that general election will show them. And then the same thing with the people that are independent or the Green Party. They will be on the general election. So
Okay.
we
I'm
got a
gonna
couple things over here that Lord forgive me, I want certain people to be removed.
do
Um,
we have a council meeting coming up during that time that you're gonna be here?
oh, you do? So I'll be there from the 4th all the way until that Monday, because you know 8-10 day. You know I'm gonna be there that whole
Whoop,
weekend, and
whoop,
that
whoop,
Monday I
whoop,
travel
whoop,
back.
whoop, whoop,
I'll go to
whoop.
the studio on that Monday, and then I'll get in my car and go home.
Monday, August 12th is the council meeting. So that
Well,
Wednesday,
then I can still stay.
Well, that
because
Wednesday we'll have a committee meeting,
they
so you'll be here for committee.
okay, because I still could stay on Monday because and the reason why my girls ain't in school, so I got time.
Okay, well,
Remember, I
you
was
must
rushing
not
back. I just got
have.
to get my deal going on with this hotel. That's all that matters. Get my deal going on,
Okay.
and I'll extend it. But I want to be there, especially the night before,
Mhm.
especially the night before y'all vote. If I got to knock on doors and bring literature, I ain't telling nobody who to vote for because I don't live in Flint. Yes, I support Rose Marl. I'm sorry. That's my candidate. If I lived there, I would vote for her.
Mhm.
But I want to help Flint to be a part of that. Their voice is that vote. Just be a part of it.
Right.
Whoever you vote for,
Yeah, I
just be
was
a
just gonna
part of
say
it.
whoever you want to vote for, just make sure you vote.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
you, of course,
you
you
got
mentioned
war.
810 day. We can't
Yes,
forget
eight
about
ten.
810 day, whichever people keep saying, when is 810 day? 810. So it's going to be August the 10th, 2024
Forgive
at
me.
at the
But when them
Roadhouse.
people kept saying 8-10 day, I kept saying, okay, who do we have on here?
What?
8-10 day. When people kept saying 8-10 day, I was like, when
When
is
is
eight ten
810?
day?
But you, but you know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sometimes, I mean, I was laughing at it too, but it was like, when is
I
810
had to
day? And
ask God for forgiveness. I had to ask God for forgiveness.
I'm like, when is 810 day? I was like, is that a trick question? Like,
It's
when
on
is
August the 10th at 8:10 at night. And I'm just joking.
8? And there's gonna be a lot of stuff to do on 18
Yes.
day. But we are, if you guys are watching, if you want to be a vendor at 810 day, please contact Stephanie Rogers at 810-288-3729 or email her at 810reunion@gmail.com. Vendor tables are $150. And we do have platinum, gold, and just support 810 sponsorships. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a great event. We have people coming in from all over the nation for this. I mean,
And,
from coast to coast. And this is going to be a great event.
and don't forget 810 merch. Rock your
Oh,
t-shirts.
I'm
I
telling
want a
you,
special t-shirt for that day.
she's gonna have a table out there selling 810
Okay.
merch.
No, but I need to get my t-shirt for that day, but I need to get a special one. Because I
Oh,
want to be
girl,
like
what you want?
Wyntis with her.
What you want
I
your
want like,
name on your? I want an 810 dress. How about that?
oh wow, for real? She could do an 810 dress.
I don't know. Well, I think I can go buy a dress and then they can print like
Oh
810.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, we going shopping.
We going shopping. I'm telling you, we gotta be different. We gotta be different.
Yes.
We gotta be different.
I didn't know she could do that because I'm telling you,
What if they can print it on the t-shirts?
yeah, they should be able to print it. Man,
Yeah.
I'll go get me a tennis skirt with 810 going all the way around the bottom of it.
What? Get it on your booty like if I was like 810, 810.
Get 810 on my drawers.
That's against the Flint City ordinance. Oh, we won't be in Flint. We can bounce it.
I'm gonna be just like Ladell when she bent over, except it's gonna say 810.
Oh Lord, that didn't say 810. That's anyway.
Go
Back to the
okay.
show. Back to the show. Back to the show. We had so much stuff come up this week. What did you think about the recall? Those numbers was close for Quincy. We I mean,
Two feelings I had. I was upset because they didn't do that with Ladell, and I felt like it was unfair how the treatment was different, how it went to one place and not the other.
mhm.
And I know a lot of people were like, "Well, it's because a lot of complaints." I don't know. In my opinion, I just think that there's too much corruption from the top, and so they're not ready to pull the ringleader of part of the chaos. Liddell's not the head of the chaos. It's above Liddell.
Oh
But
yeah.
you're not gonna pull the strings of their puppets, all of them. You can pull one, and Quincy would have been the one they would have pulled. Because
Didn't I I told you was gonna be the
Qu-
sacrificial lamb.
Quincy, I'm sorry, but your voice doesn't matter to them. It
I
does
told
not.
I
You're not
if
even
you would
using
listen
your
months
voice.
ago. No, he's not, or his full potential. But I
Yep.
told you months ago, you were going to be the sacrificial lamb. One day, people gonna start listening to me. And if he would have been listening to me, he wouldn't have been going down this rabbit hole. But Quincy
And
knew it himself.
and
Quincy
even
been
if he
done.
got the and even if he got those kickbacks as to why he did it, kickbacks don't last, and people will get your butt locked up.
Sure will. And forget all about you.
And guess what? Just like was it Snyder got away with it,
Mm-hmm.
and the minions at the bottom got in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way. They'll pass the upper to allow you to go right back, and you be right going back to your ward, sitting dealing with the stuff that you used to sit in there and complain about.
Mm-hmm.
You be sitting on the opposite side, and won't nobody want to hear you no more because you had the
Right.
opportunity to change.
Right.
That's the
You
sad
right.
part. He will be known as Quincy, in my opinion, will be known as the fifth vote that suspended Mays, and then Mays left this earth. That's my opinion.
Girl. And it was so sad because I remember that day like yesterday. Quincy was so sick. He was so sick that day. Like he was just dragging. But he dragged to come down there to suspend Mays. And I was sitting in the front row that day when Mays looked right over there in the A10 camera and he spoke those final words.
Hmm.
When you hear of my home, and it was just like I just got choked up. And that was it. He never sat back down in that seat again. It was like they took his hope away from him. It's and we're never saying that, man doesn't have, unless you actually take a life. We're not blaming his death on somebody, but they took what meant the most from him. You know what I'm saying? And when
Hmm.
you take somebody's something that they get up every day for and they fuel on, that just does something to a person. And I believe that messed him up. I truly believe that.
Especially our seniors. Elizabeth Taylor. I watched her. I did watch they not to bring up another news media, but I did watch. I think Tanya had posted. I did watch the thing the other day where I think it was live yesterday. A couple of the women talking about the last council. I'm not going to say names, but Taylor was one of the women in the group, and I
Okay.
watched it on. I don't advertise for no one. I just don't do that.
Mhm.
But Taylor was in the room, and she looked so beautiful with her African attire. And she
Mhm.
was in the room speaking, and they were talking about what happened in council and how did they feel about it. And it was powerful conversation, and it was real conversation. Um, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, the story is not about someone from outside coming in. The story is about the injustice that the people in Flint still deal with, and the water is still messed up. And the fact that you allow a white male to go to a podium and then call someone out their name while they're walking away and
Right.
then run to the police, what we saw is what's going on in Flint.
Yeah.
We saw it in action. That
Mhm.
is the silent voice. They'll
Right.
do anything to get people to leave and run. And Art said it on his page the other day um, in a comment. Why do people keep telling us to leave? Why would I leave? So then the new people get the best stuff that we've been fighting for. And that's why I keep
Absolutely.
saying, don't look, everyone has a right to their opinion. But the key word was, even when Councilman Dennis Pfeiffer, when I asked him that question, was if you don't have the means, then you would leave. But you can have the means if you make it a point to keep yourself engaged in change. And you will have the resources and the things you need. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't run.
Think you blocked me out
Y'all,
like Jon Snow for a second. Keep talking, Anna.
no, I'm saying don't give up. Focus on the ones that are there together. Build Flint. Y'all just need Flint. When we come, outsiders like me and anyone else that comes, coming to support. It's not about us. It's not about our name. It's not to repeat our names. It's about Flint and only Flint. There is great history. There's great rich soil right there in Flint. And there's a lot of history, especially Black history in Flint. Malcolm X walked through there. Dr. Martin Luther King walked through there. Eric Mays walked through there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to keep that going.
It
There's some
sounded like you
stories.
watched the show last night. How did you feel about the
Oh,
show
yeah,
with
of
Carl?
course. You know when you said Carl was coming on there. You know when I met Carl at the row house and he was like, he started singing that go-go song. I went crazy. I said, oh, Carl knows. But then when I was talking to Carl, even though Carl was repeating himself, because you know when we drink, we might repeat ourselves, I knew that he was conscious. And what I mean by conscious, I knew that he knew the truth beyond the truth, and he was deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that man is very bright. And if you sit with him, some things can't go online because some people ain't ready for it.
Right.
But if you sit and have a real conversation with him, you will hear things that most people need to hear to know the history and to know so we don't repeat it. They're
Girl, I
taking our
learned so
books.
much last night. I learned a lot on that show last night. Just sitting there
Yeah.
listening to Carl, I learned a lot from Carl
Yep.
and from Miss Sherry. It was a very
And
enlightening
oh yeah,
show.
and not just Carl, Sherry too. Sherry gave it from a perspective from the she's so beautiful. Oh my God, she's so beautiful
Yes,
in
she.
person and on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Even her personality and who she is, she's very. I was happy to meet her in person. Great couple, great couple. Where both of them have their own personalities and they let their personalities show. Not one is hiding the other. I
Mm-hmm.
love when I see couples like that.
Mm-hmm. 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 So, what else did you get out of the show?
Um, I look.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw the controversial thing out there. I love that you asked who Carl was with support for Ward One, and he said his truth. And everybody go back. I'm not gonna repeat it. Everybody go back and listen to Carl's opinion about candidates for Ward One, because it was so on point and it was so real what he said. And it's not to take from anyone else, but please go back and watch Carl and Sherry Allen's Carl Lewis and Sherry Allen's on the Wyntis Hall show yesterday. It aired from 6 to 7. Just go back on A10 News Media Group or go on Flint Reboot, wherever. Go on YouTube. Watch that interview. But go back to that part
Mm-hmm.
because he
Mm-hmm.
threw some nuggets. And I hope Rose heard what he said. I
Mm-hmm.
hope Rose was on there and heard what he said. Um, my whole thing is vote for the ones that are doing, that are in action, not reaction. Action, not
Mm-hmm.
reaction. Action. Focus on that, people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can bring me back in now, Mickey. I had to get something to eat real quick, girl.
Yeah,
I was hungry.
I don't blame you. I'm hungry too. So, but that's just, last night was real deep. But I understand that we have allies, and not every person that is not black is against you. And
Mm-hmm.
we also need to talk about that too, because people can take things and screw them in a different way and say, "Oh, this is just for this these people."
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you be looking at them like, "What? What did you say? These people?"
Mm-hmm.
No, this is the truth, and we need to speak about the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you should be able to be comfortable in people speaking truth,
Mm-hmm.
because we're in as women, men make fun of us, right? What do
Mm-hmm.
they say? How you gonna tell me to be real and you not real? You know the joke they kick out. You got your hair, you got your eyelashes, you got all
Right.
these things going on. You got all this makeup on your face. You don't even look like who you are. And they say
Mm-hmm.
keep it real, right?
Right.
The
Right.
reality is you're right. Keep it real. You can't tell someone to be real and you're not, and you're wearing things and you're not showing who you are. And it's like a mask.
Right.
But that's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
Society tells us that we have to look a certain way, and some men make us by the way they make fun of us, by the way they talk about us, and make us feel ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of us go out here and we put all these things on that we really don't need, in my
Right.
opinion,
Right.
and we feel as ladies sometimes ugly. And we'll get the backlash and say, you're fake, you got all this. Yeah, but excuse me, I get more attention from you, my own, if I look like this. So
But then,
to the
but
men
then they
out
say
there
they
that are
want
watching Sister
to.
Circle,
Right.
a lot of men like natural, and they'll tell you. But the next time you crack a joke on a lady, check yourself. That's all I'm saying. Check yourself.
Oh, excuse me. That's a good one. Check yourself.
Check
That's a
yourself.
good one. Because you know what, you don't know what a person is going through, and
Hmm.
sometimes you can really like do something to someone's self-esteem.
Yep. We
But
don't
you
know why
know,
people wear hair. We don't know. It doesn't always have to be alopecia.
right,
Sometimes we like to look different.
right. And sometimes it just makes us feel better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it just makes us feel better. But then, I still go back. I still agree with I remember we did a show a long time ago. Like, they be going too far sometimes with them BBLs.
Yes,
Whoo,
they do.
wee. Like,
Unsafely too far. But that still
unsafe.
goes back to the community and how media tells us we have to look a certain way. So we need to stop looking at paid celebrities who are paid by other people to do things, because these celebrities are not like the past. These celebrities, sometimes I feel like they got a script and they got to act the whole entire time. And then when they get on the drugs and they get clean, they say, well, that wasn't me. They made me and they told me I had to. So please, you see, the Satan is exposing the truth now. They say the
Hmm.
enemy will show his face. And
Hmm.
that's what's going on in Hollywood. They're showing you. So if you're going to follow somebody, I'm going to tell you wholeheartedly, follow God.
Follow
Follow,
Jesus. Right.
follow Jesus.
Seriously. Seriously. Because,
Then get yourself together before you
mhm.
follow man. Before you follow man.
And I think I just said this the other day, like Megan the Stallion, even though Stallion is a male horse, I never understand that. But anyway, Megan, I thought it's a beautiful big girl. And she wasn't even big. You know what I'm saying? Big for Megan probably was what, a 12, 14. And
Hmm.
they made Megan feel so bad until like when you see Megan now, Megan is so tiny. Megan is really small.
Oh, she is.
Megan has lost a lot of weight.
She is, because the
Even
camera makes you look big, bigger than what you are.
right. So then it's like even the celebrities themselves are feeding into this social media
How's that song
and
go?
how they're supposed to look.
Oh, Ozempic.
I can't stand you. But they feeding into this stuff themselves. And it's crazy. You gotta look a certain way. Look at Lizzo. Like Lizzo got her claim to fame from like embracing being a big girl. And like it's like, who is this now? Lizzo losing that weight. Like Lizzo don't want to be a big girl no more.
Yep,
Have
you're
you
right.
seen Lizzo lately? Like that ain't the Lizzo that first came out.
Yeah.
And so it's like, society plays a big part on how these things go. You tell them to get in the car and be quiet. You saying get in the car and
It's
be
hot
quiet.
outside.
I'm doing
Yeah,
the
and I
show,
told
right?
him.
Where's my oldest daughter at?
Oh,
My oldest
so
niece.
the oldest one, Jasmine, just came back. She was gone for 2 weeks, and she was literally in the country, literally in the country. She was in the Chesapeake by the lake. Her friends have a home in the Chesapeake,
Oh,
so she
okay.
literally was chilling and
Okay.
on the lake, just having sailing away.
Oh, okay.
They
She
even
was she
they
was
even got her a
okay.
bike. They even got her a bike. So she was on her bike. She spray painted her bike. So all
Black.
the people, my baby is LGBTQ. My baby is bi. So her bike was spray painted blue. What is it? Blue, purple, and pink is the colors for bi.
I was gonna say she spray painted it black because you know how she gets into her black. So I thought it was gonna be
So
black. But South, we
no,
got
hers
colors.
was
So
the
I'm happy.
representation. Hers was the representation of the bi flag. So it was,
Okay.
I guess that's purple, blue, and pink.
June
And
is
act
Pride Month.
Yes, and it was the Pride parade, and the whole month is Pride. But this particular weekend, we had the Pride parade in DC, and so she wanted to
Okay.
celebrate um, right along with her best friend.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep. So
That's
I
good.
was happy for her. She just came back. And Liana, like I told you, all week, the graduation, her prom, her eighth grade prom. She went to the water park yesterday. And I told her, I have to do something today. You chill at home. I'm surprised she has not blew up my phone. That's because her phone is charged.
Oh, I was gonna say that's
You
because she got her
remember
phone.
that.
She at home. She looks so beautiful. Those dresses
Yes.
oh my God. Where did you find those dresses at? Especially that it
So,
was it that lime green one? Was it lime
yes.
green?
So that
Oh,
is okay. So I was going everywhere. Went to Macy's, Nordstrom, couldn't find nothing that was unique. Girl, I went right into the Latino store. You know, they be wearing them dresses and sneakers everywhere they go.
right. But she
I could
looked
talk that mess. But anyway,
beautiful. She looked beautiful.
so they had in the Greenbelt store, they have a store that has the quinceañera dresses. And so
Okay.
that one is for literally the damas. But I was like, oh, this is perfect for eighth grade. It's actually the Princess and the Frog, um, kind of like the Princess and the Frog
Okay.
view of
Okay.
it for shorter.
Because that's
That's
the theme
actually
that
going to be
she's
her thing.
happy for. Right.
Yes. So I
Right.
told her, guess what? You can wear this dress today, and you can wear it at your party after you take your big gown off.
Oh, I was gonna say you told her she gonna wear it again. I know she went into full spade. I'm not wearing this
You
twice.
already know she not. She's gonna wear it after because eventually she gonna want that big dress off for her at her
Okay.
party.
Okay.
So I said that be the backup when you ready to take that. Oh no, this girl, everything got to be new. Even her eighth grade, she has dresses. She's wore one time. I said, girl, you can wear that. No, I cannot. Someone saw me in that. I said, girl, you better. I'm telling you, when you graduate, you better get a full ride to college. You better, you better get it on and have your
Well,
own money.
as much as the advocate as you are with the schools and stuff down there with the children, maybe you can get like some of her dresses and donate it, to the less fortunate.
Yes, I'm literally trying to do an event eventually because you talk about dresses, talk about sneakers. She has a parade of sneakers just as much as I do. So
Really?
yeah, she wears her sneakers like every day of the week. She'll change, and then for like 3 weeks she can wear different, and then she'll start back over. So she's not
You are
repeating. She's
you're
not repeating.
a giver of gowns. That should be your name, a giver of
Yes,
gowns.
give her gowns. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't say nothing, but I know what
Giver
you're
of gowns.
talking about. I
And
know
you
what you're
know
talking
what?
about.
Got in the gown and happy to report. It's too big.
That's actually a good thing.
No, it's not, because that's a badass gown. I'm
No,
gonna have
that
to get
means you.
that taken up.
That means all those pictures you've been taking at the gym has been working.
I gotta get that dress taken up, baby. But my
Yeah,
mama
you
said,
can.
how did Anna fit in this? It had to be a trail, and
That's because
she had
Anna
to lift
was.
it
That's because Anna's butt was big as I don't know what.
up. That still had to be too long
No,
for
but
you.
I had heels on. But you know what I'm talking about. The way I was,
Yeah.
it was fitting. That
Oh.
dress, I, I'm a 12 now.
Oh.
I'm a size 12. But like I told you, I had the surgery. You can't eat nothing. More of a
Uh-huh.
healthier way of dealing with this. But it is what it is. We get big, we get small. We still need love at the end of the day. We still human.
Hey, I know that's right.
We're still worthy to be respected.
Hmm.
And even if we don't get small, no one has the right to sit there. We say these crazy things, but I just say, you know what? Y'all can say all the jokes you want. I've been there. Y'all could
Right.
have said big back to me at one point. Now you could even say something but to be nasty, little back. You can say whatever you want.
I think little back is a compliment. I, I, I,
Yeah.
I think little back is a compliment. Now I had to think about it for a little while because yeah, I'm just gonna say
I would
little
say
back is a
I'm
compliment.
glad. I ain't gonna lie. I'm glad I lost a lot of weight, but I'm glad I did not lose. You already know back there
Back
because I
there.
was scared. I was scared.
Like Lotto, they said I wrapped my ass off turn around. I can't tell. Well, we got to get out of here because we do have another show coming
Yes.
on. And it's just been, I'm just glad we just was able to have a conversation this week. We didn't really like deep dive off into anything. But next week we're going to have a very controversial subject live when we're going to have gonna have Rico and Patrick and all of them back on here and make them
Wow.
mad next week because we're gonna talk about the Fupas next week.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna talk about the Fupa, the famous Fupa. They say they
That's a
love the Fupa,
conversation
so
right there.
we're gonna talk about them
Yes.
Fupas next week, girl.
And make them own up to it that they like
Make
it.
them own up to that Fupa. You gonna love that Fupa. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna have Mickey in here. We're gonna turn his microphone on, and we're gonna make sure that we talk about that Fupa next week, girl. We're gonna talk. We're gonna make them men stand on business next week.
And just going back with Taylor, just remember 6 o'clock. I will be going for that event. Miss Taylor sent
Go
information for me to
live.
go,
Go
and
live.
I'm going to go live, and I'm going to take pictures and send it back. And I pray that Taylor, that I could talk to her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm just a girl from DC who loves Flint. That's all I am. Ain't no one looking
Hey,
for nothing. Just a
and we
girl who
love you
loves
too.
history and Flint.
You know what? It's not that many people that say they love Flint and then actually come and take the time out to come to Flint and really look around and say they love Flint.
Yeah.
So Flint loves you back. So never forget
Yep.
that.
I took my vacation money and could have went somewhere else, and I was like, no, I want to be around what I know God is going to change. That's where I want to be.
Well, you know what? We love you here for it. And also the Mount Pisgah Baptist Church loves you as well.
Oh, and that's why I'm not leaving until Monday or Tuesday because I'm going to that church.
Well, we gonna welcome you back with open arms. So we're gonna have to hurry up because Mickey about to throw a shoe at me because that's another
Okay.
invoice
Yeah,
he
because
gotta.
my earpiece just fell off, so you already know it's like time
It's
to get off,
time to
Anna.
go. Right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anna. And we will see you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Don't forget about the march. If you're in Detroit tomorrow at the Church of Messiah, we'll see you there at 10 o'clock. If not, happy Father's Day weekend to everybody. And take us out, Anna.
Peace.